Hello, I'm Adrian Clarke and welcome to the breakdown. Another win for the Gunners then. 2-0 win at Burnley. I'm going to analyse it very shortly. There'll be some player ratings to follow as well. It was our ninth straight win in all competitions. Best run, by the way, since Emery ball was in full flow back in 2018. Remember that? We've moved on quite a bit since then, I'd suggest. It was also a landmark win because it was another clean sheet. Our 12th in 15 matches in all competitions, and it did make history. We are the first English club in history to concede only 3 goals in their first 15 matches in all competitions. Obviously, Haaland, the only one in open play. Voltemada from the short corner at Newcastle, and Szoboszlai with that worldy free kick at Anfield. It's nuts, really, but that is how well this team are defending. In terms of this match, I felt it was kind of like a 24-minute performance. Okay, until we scored, not a lot happened. I didn't think we were playing particularly well. And after the 38th minute, when we were 2 goals up, I felt that we absolutely took our foot off the gas and didn't really do a great deal. Let's show you the XG maps from, first of all, the 14th minute to the 38th minute. So we're talking about those 24 minutes. Here you go. Nothing, absolutely nothing at the Burnley end. They didn't have a shot or anything. And look at the quality of those chances there. The bigger the circles, the bigger the chance. Obviously, there's a goal in there from Gyokeres. There's a goal in there from Rice. It was total domination. And if you flip it to the rest of the match combined, the first 14 minutes, first 13 minutes, and then what happened after the 39th minute, and no real quality chances from Arsenal, a few for Burnley towards the end. So in essence, we won this match in a blistering 24-minute spell where we were absolutely at it, completely destroyed Burnley. And we're going to get to the reasons why and who did well just now, shall we? Let's crack on straight with it, shall we? Declan Rice, for me, was the game's best player, actually by a country mile. I was really, really impressed with his performance. Great engine. We know he's got a great engine, but he did run the furthest of all the players. I think 11.4k for Declan Rice, which was the highest of any Arsenal player. He made 9 ball recoveries. He won 5 out of 5 tackles, 3 interceptions. Duels, he won 9 duels. No one won more. And he won 3 or 4 aerial duels as well. So this was a proper performance from Declan Rice in a defensive sense. Obviously he scored as well. We'll get to that very, very shortly. But yeah, let's show you his defensive chalkboard, shall we? And it's impressive because he just drops back into that left-sided berth time and time again to mop things up. Also, he defended in the right back area as well. He was a cover merchant in this game, Declan Rice. Whenever Burnley had the ball and they created a bit of danger or stretched us, most of this was in the second half, of course. There he was, and I think that is what Declan Rice does better than almost every other midfielder in the country at the moment. So that's a terrific defensive chalkboard. Couple of examples. Let's show you them now. Here's one where Burnley broke down the right hand side. I've got Chukwu. We're stretched. Calafiori's out of position, so Rice is having to cover and track that run. He holds him up. And then as we move it on, he's patient. He doesn't dive in, and then bang! Once in the area, getting close to the goal, he just whips the ball off his toes. It was a really smooth tackle, and that was one of very many like that from Declan Rice in the game. Here's another one on the other side of the pitch. You see Burnley just chop the ball inside, and I think it's Edwards there who makes that run from the centre. And look, you see him there tracking. He's seen that danger very, very early. He's already caught up a bit, by the way. He was 2 or 3 yards behind him. He's in the process of catching up. And then, of course, down by the corner flag, he wins the ball with consummate ease and tidies up and gives it to Jurrien Timber. So yeah, this was a top quality performance from Declan Rice. He was absolutely terrific. We'll get to the goal very, very shortly. Stats wise, there was one other really interesting stat to be aware of, and I don't know how widely known this is, but Eberechi Eze didn't give the ball away once, which I always think is impressive for any player that starts a Premier League match. Burnley put a lot of pressure on the ball as well. He's working in tight areas. He had 100% pass accuracy. Here is his map now. And what you will notice is that all of them are in the middle third. There's not too much bravery there. He's not trying to split the defence. He's not feeding the ball into the wide areas very often. It was a safe performance. I wouldn't say he was brilliant. He was neat and tidy. Eza in the game. It wasn't fantastic. But I think it was noteworthy that he didn't give the ball away on a single occasion. So well done to Eza. I don't get any prizes for that, of course, but it's decent. Probably second in my sort of player of the match rankings would be Viktor Gyokeres. I thought his 45-minute cameo was brilliant. Absolutely superb. It was maybe in terms of his all-round play, maybe it was the pick of his performances so far. He held the ball well and he really carried a threat. He looked confident. Let's have a look at the chance here that he set up for Bukayo Saka. It's excellent. Comes from a goal kick. It's nodded back to him from Zubimendi. He controls it and he sees Saka's run really, really early and he plays a quality pass over the top that asks questions of Estev, and Estev can't answer those questions. And then, of course, Saka's 1v1 and you fully expect him to score. I've arrowed this here with the red arrow. This is the kind of finish I think Saka should have produced. You can see the goalkeeper is not standing that tall. He wants him to knock it low. I think there is time and space for him to just dink it over the goalie. He goes low and it's a bit of a weak shot in the end from Bukayo Saka. So that was a little bit frustrating from his end, and he was even more frustrated actually a few minutes later when Dubravka made an absolutely wonderful save from Saka. But again, it was Gyokeres at the heart of it. Initially it was Rice who won the ball, into Eza, into Gyokeres who travels with it, and he draws the defender and he slips him in at the perfect time. It's a really, really well-weighted pass from Gyokeres. Great awareness. And Saka's shot is a really good one on this occasion. It is lofted and it's a wonderful save actually. Just pours it away. Does Dubravka. So yeah, Gyokeres in a creative sense was good. He created 3 chances in that first half. You remember the Trossard one where he has the shot where it's cleared off the line. Well, that's from a setback from Viktor Gyokeres. So really, really good from him. Okay, let's talk now about the goals. And look, I almost burst out laughing in commentary when we scored from another corner. Because it's just getting silly now, isn't it? 8 goals from corners in the Premier League alone this season. That's the most ever by any team in their first 10 Premier League matches. 8 corner goals in 10 games. Just ridiculous, really. Let's take a look at the way it's constructed. It's pretty basic, if truth be told. It's a great delivery from Rice, takes out the keeper. But really all this is about is Gabriel on that penalty spot, evading his man and getting to the far stick. And it's about players at the far stick getting into the middle of that danger zone. And Gyokeres, you see the angle there of the run there. He just makes a simple run across the face of goal. As we wind it on, this is the key moment. And this is absolutely majestic from Gabriel Maghalaes. Because think about it, he's sprinted, he's arced his run. He's doing it all at pace. There's bodies flying everywhere. The ball's in the air. And then, as it lands on his right foot, he's got the quality and the calmness to just cushion it. And I liken this to a volleyball set. A little set in volleyball. He just sets it up in the air for Viktor Gyokeres to nod home from a yard out. It is. I think it's one of the best assists of the season so far because the degree of difficulty on it is amazing. So, yeah, well played Gyokeres, but absolutely well played to Gabriel Maghalaes. The second goal was a classic counter-attack. Now, if you cast your mind back, is Kyle Walker. Now, Kyle Walker is the right back, clearly, or right wing back, because they played with a back 5. And he is on the left wing, taking a long throw-in. So, have the boys clocked that? You bet they have. Yeah, of course they have. It's like, well, if he's on the left wing, no one's at right back. So, we clear it. Gabriel Maghalaes makes a towering header. We work the ball, I think, via Saka to Gyokeres, and we'll pick it up here where Gyokeres flies up that right-hand side. He does it with purpose, and I think this pass here, this diagonal, is sensational, really, from Gyokeres. It shows what a good footballer he is. He's playing with his head up. He can see Trossard making that run, and he just hits the area. He drives through the ball, and he gets it to Trossard. If we wind it on, there is no right back. It's Josh Laurent, one of the centre-backs, that has to come out and engage Trossard, which he doesn't do very well. I've circled that big patch of grass there that Declan Rice is surging into. No one can keep pace with him. It's crucial, by the way, to look at Eza as well there. He's occupying defenders. If Eza's not there, they're looking at Rice. They see him coming. And They don't, because they're worried about Eze, because he's there at the outset. Now Laurent does a terrible job. Trossard just goes past him to the byline and stands the cross up, and Eze makes the run to the near post, drags the defender with him. There's confusion. No one really sees Rice until it's too late, and he plants that header into the corner. It's absolutely superb. It's a classic counter-attacking goal from the Arsenal. It's in open play, yes. It doesn't count double, but it is in open play. And from that moment on, you knew that Burnley's hearts were broken. Okay, half-time. Viktor Gyokeres comes off. I was wondering whether he was just rested. Apparently he did have a little bit of a niggle that he was worried about, so they didn't take any chances. Mikel Merino comes on, and I think it's fair to say that there was less mobility. He was coming short a little bit more. He stays a lot more central, Mikel Merino, than Gyokeres, who really, I thought, drifted along the line from left to right very, very effectively. If you looked at his touch map, there were touches here and there and everywhere in the half. With Merino, it's much more down the middle of the pitch. And in truth, I think in the second half, we definitely went down a few gears. It was like we just wanted to coast, didn't want to work too hard. But also, I think stylistically, because he doesn't have the pace to stretch anyone, we found it harder to get into advanced areas. I did like this pass, though. Let's show you this one from Mikel Merino to Saka, where he drops in and takes a touch and then plays a beautiful through ball to Saka. And that was one of our best opportunities of the half. I think it ended up with a timber strike over the bar. But in general, I did think that we didn't get into that final third enough in the second half, probably because we didn't want to push ourselves, didn't want to use up too much energy. But in part, it may well have been because the centre-halves were much more comfortable. They weren't stretched or dragged around by Gyokeres type presence. And I think that's reflected in these two pass maps from Saka and from Trossard. We show you here, the first half is on the left there, where you see Trossard and Saka in the final third on numerous occasions, making things happen. In the second half, on the right there, Trossard really didn't get into those areas at all, and Saka just once or twice, and one of them was from that Mikel Merino pass. So yeah, look, stylistically, I think we are stronger with Gyokeres up front because he stretches and it gives us more opportunity to get into that final third. Look, the other story of this game is the fact that we gave nothing away. I mean, there have been 5 instances now of a side preventing an opponent from having a shot on target in the Premier League this season, and I also have 3 of them. 3 of the 5. It really should be 6, because that shot on target from Eddie Nketiah at Crystal Palace was not a shot, and it was not on target. Right, just took it off his head. So really, it should be 4 from 6, but let's not get too pedantic. In 6 of our 10 matches so far this season, we've limited our opponents to either no shots on target or a maximum of 1. And in this match, really, there was only one opportunity, half chance for Burnley. It was actually Mikel Merino just switched off. It was a long diagonal free kick, and he just switched off, lost concentration. It went over his head. Esteve knocks it across the face of goal, but the guy in the middle can't keep his header down, and it, you know, it was no danger in the end. I did think that it was a standout in terms of our defence, and that was Gabriel Maghalaes. I think from long throws, and there were quite a lot of them, and those crosses put in the box, he was absolutely monstrous, Gabriel Maghalaes. Let's show you his clearance map here. Yep, 9 clearances in the game, which was a high, and you see most of those were inside the 18-yard box. A lot of them from corner kicks as well. So not from corner kicks, from long throws. So yeah, Gabriel Maghalaes, absolutely superb once again. Right, let's do some player ratings to round things up, shall we? I know lots of you enjoy this part of the show, so I'm going to go with David Raya 6 because he didn't really have anything to do. Well, I can't really go higher than that. Timber 7, didn't overexert himself, didn't get forward as much, but he was very, very solid. Jadon Anthony, a danger man for Burnley, didn't get any joy at all, did he? Came off quite early. Same for Saliba, 7, very solid. Immaculate performance from him, but didn't really have to overwork. Gabriel for me is an 8 for the reasons outlined. Obviously, big part in the goal, and he was the dominator inside our box. Calafiori 7, I think in the first half he had a really important role to play, popping up on the inside, getting into the box. I think the chaos he brought during that 24-minute spell that I was talking about was terrific. And then he sort of eased off, and yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. Zubimendi, neat and tidy. Didn't do anything amazing, didn't do anything wrong. It's a solid 7 for him. And I say the same for Eza. Would have liked him to be maybe a bit braver with his distribution, maybe carry the ball a bit more. But he didn't give the ball away, and that's an achievement in itself. So he gets a 7. And Declan Rice is my main man. He gets a 9. Thought he was absolutely phenomenal in the match. Bukayo Saka, I thought he looked tired, a little bit off it. Obviously, he missed a couple of chances and didn't quite have that energy or sharpness that we usually see. So I think by most player standards, his performance was still a 7. But I'm going to go 6 because by his lofty levels, it was probably a little bit below par. It was very average on his part. Trossard, I'll give a 7, even though he did fade out of the game. I thought he was really dangerous in the first half. And that assist for Rice definitely bumps him up to that level. And Gyokeres for me is an 8. I think it was a real top-class centre-forward performance from him. And hopefully there's nothing major there in terms of that niggle that forced him off, because I think he's growing in confidence all of the time. In terms of the subs, I think Marino a 7 because I like the way he set that chance up for Saka, and there was a moment where he won the ball back as well and gave it to Norgard, who had a shot. So he put himself about, even though he wasn't as good as Gyokeres in the game. One area I'll go 7. He had a good run, didn't he? Lovely spin turn and run and shot. Looked pretty lively. And then the rest, Norgard, Hincapié and Lewis Skelly, I'll end with a 6. So there you go. Another win for Arsenal. Another clean sheet. Can we go on and make even more history against Slavia Prague in midweek? Let's hope so. I will be back after that game to analyse it, to break it down, etc, etc. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Until next time, it's a bye from me.